Welcome everyone to another episode of Beyond the Sidelines, a sports channel specially started by us, where we talk about match previews, give you insights about various games, talk to grassroots leaders, talk to athletes, sports managers, and many much things more. In today's episode, we'll be talking about the preview of today's Champions League match between Chelsea versus Real Madrid. We indeed saw a very exciting first game. Chelsea won, Real Madrid won, played at Santiago Bernabeu, or you could call it the Alfredo Di Stefano Stadium right now, and it was a fantastic game. Chelsea looking really good in the first half, a lot of attacks mounted at the Real Madrid defense, finally getting a goal. Christian Pulisic is the goal scorer, or Kuchi Palome, Karim Benzema, he got the equalizer. What a fantastic goal, isn't it? The ball into the box, Karim Benzema, lethal goal scorer in the box, and getting that one-all goal. So fantastically poised. We are all very much waiting eagerly for the second leg because we don't really know who's going to come up, which Chelsea team is going to come up, which Real Madrid team is going to come up on that day. So it's very exciting for all of us. And in today's episode, we'll be joined in by a few fans of both teams, Real Madrid and Chelsea. So please don't go away anywhere. So we just spoke about the preview between Chelsea versus Real Madrid, two top teams. Wonderful first leg, 1-1 between both the teams, played at the home ground of Real Madrid. And now we head on towards a new segment, which we just recently introduced today in the second episode. We are pleased to have fans of both Real Madrid and Chelsea here with us on the show. For Real Madrid, we've got Ronan, who's a avid Real Madrid Football Club supporter. Pleasure to have you, Ronan, on the show.
Mine. Thank you.
Thank you. For Chelsea, we've got two young Chelsea supporters here with us. It's a pleasure to have Anahat Datar, who also works with a sports management company and is also a big fan of Chelsea Football Club. Thank you, Anahat, for coming.
Yes, Siddharth, happy to be here.
And also, we've got Aniket, who will be alongside Anahat, kind of representing Chelsea against Ronan's Real Madrid. So, Aniket, pleasure to have you, a huge Chelsea fan and a footballer himself. Happy to have you as part of today's program.
Hi Siddharth, happy to be here.
Cool. All right. So we start off with our first segment, the Fans Corner. Ronan, my question to you is, now we may see Sergio Ramos playing tomorrow, a big inspiration at the club. If he's there on the ground, they say half the battle is won. How much of it is going to be a big inspiration tomorrow for Real Madrid? Would we see Sergio Ramos starting tomorrow, first of all? What do you reckon? And secondly, Hazard was brilliant against Osasuna when he played in the weekend fixture. So do you think Hazard would probably start in tomorrow's game? And one more question I will add on is, how much of the experience that Real Madrid have in these sort of situations would help them tomorrow? Because they won the Champions League previously. So how much would that help? So on to you.
Speaking about Ramos, I don't think they have any other option because Varane is out. Fede Valverde, who kind of cannot play due to COVID. So Ramos has to start, no doubt. Ramos and Militao, I think, will be a good combo, and we could see the defense be really strong. Hazard, I saw the game versus Osasuna. It was really good how he played. Couple good dribbles. Maybe if he can bring a little bit more edge to the game, it will really help. And a comeback, who knows? And your last question was the last question.
Yeah, how much of the experience that Real Madrid have at this stage under Zidane? They've won Champions Leagues before. Do you reckon you're confident going into this game as a club or as a fan?
Watching Real Madrid since start of this year, it's been ups and downs. Can't say anything, but looking at their will and their final in each game, I think they'll get through. But Chelsea will give them a good fight. Hopefully, it will be a quick game and easy.
Cool. So Ronan being confident there, he hopes Real Madrid will go through, and he hopes Sergio Ramos starts because they don't really have much options. Valverde is out, and he's hoping a Militao and Ramos marshal the defense. All right, thank you, Ronan. So Anahat, my question to you is in the fans corner is, there was a lot of talk about the fact, that 70% of the earth is covered by water, and the rest 30% is covered by N'Golo Kante. So, how much of an effect N'Golo Kante's had on the game? He was prolific in the first match. How do you reckon? How much of an impact he's going to have in the second game?
Massive player, massive impact because he was just everywhere, and not only as not as the fans, but even the pundits, even the opposition players were saying that he was just everywhere, and he was not. He was active all the time, even when he was tracking back, or even when he was just making the play. It was quite wonderful to see because it was music. It was music that was being played. It was music that was being orchestrated. It was just brilliant. I loved this game.
Fantastic. And Anand, also maybe another question I'd like to add on is about the fact that uh, we've seen Chelsea's defense. They have often been inconsistent in some games, consistent in some games. We saw them conceding 5 against West Brom, but also at the same time they've had a lot of clean sheets on the trot. So you never know which Chelsea defense will come up on that day. So do you reckon that's a problem, or do you reckon that's only a one-off day we've had in these 2-3 games, or they have had in these 2-3 games as a club?
I would like to believe that this was like those performances were very rare, and they will continue to be very rare. Probably not even rare, but I am worried. I am worried. I'm not gonna lie. I am worried a bit because Rudiger is a change. He's a change defender. We all have been seeing a lot of improvement in his play, but again, they have been ridiculed by injuries here and there. So that's why I would like to believe that they are a bit inconsistent, but in the last few games, we have been very stable. We have been very solid. So I hope to carry this form in the next leg.
Fantastic. All right. Aniket, जब obviously when Lampard was sacked, बहुत फरोर हुआ था, and a lot of people had a lot of questions. Nobody really knew what was the future at the club. What do you think after Thomas Tuchel's been hired? Do you think he's done a considerably good job? And are you happy with the fact that Thomas Tuchel is doing really well at the club?
Yeah, first of all, I was a bit disappointed when I heard the news about Lampard sacking because new players have arrived and they need to gel in the Premier League. Premier League is most demanding leagues in the world, so these new players who come from different states, so they need 1 or 2 seasons to gel in the system. And you saw that with Liverpool and Man City, the same thing where the players needed to gel in one season and the next season they just won the title. So I think that was a decision taken, which I mean I was a bit disappointed. But since arrival of Thomas Tuchel, apart from that one blip against West Brom, the side has been excellent throughout.
Fantastic. And also wanted to ask you, Aniket, is Timo Werner was, you could say had a lot of chances in the first leg. Was looking quite wasteful, but in the game against Fulham, brilliant assist to Kai Havertz. Who do you think should start in tomorrow's game? Does Timo Werner retain his place, or do you think Kai Havertz should be given an opportunity, or who do you think should be the player who should be leading the attacking line for Chelsea today?
I think if Sergio Ramos is starting, so we should go with the physical presence of Olivier Giroud because we need that physicality up there on the pitch because Havertz and Werners are not those type of physical players, and we need that physical man up front who would uh, go on par with Sergio Ramos. So I guess Giroud should start.
Absolutely. I think that's a good point there, Aniket. Giroud's experience at the same time is also Chelsea's Champions League top scorer this year. So obviously a lot of factors coming into play, and well put. And that was a brilliant fans corner there. And now we move on to something excitement. We move on to the part that we all were waiting for. Let's move on to banter. So in this segment, I just want your fans to put forth statements against each other. I'm going to give everybody a minute, and all you got to do is tell us why do you think your club is the greatest, and why do you think your club is better than their opponents. So it's all out, all out. I don't want you all to be diplomatic. I want you all to go all out, and let's see whether who wins this round of banter. I don't know whether Chelsea or Real Madrid will go through, but let's see who wins this banter. Starting off with Ronan. Unfortunately, Ronan's piled up against two, but I'm sure that he's got the trying to overcome this. So, Ronan, starting off with you, why Real Madrid and why do you think they're better than Chelsea?
Just speaking about the semi-final, I think Real Madrid just have to score a goal, and I think that's the game because Chelsea, according to me, does not have the attacking capability to score another goal against at least Ramos when he comes in. Fair point about Giroud, but the thing is he's a bit slow. Nobody can argue with that. So that will be one thing that I would really hope will happen. But and the fact that Eden Hazard is entered and Chelsea's defense, although has been very tight, but was broken down by West Brom. So I think it will be a one-man show with Eden Hazard. Counting that Kurt Zuma and all don't have their best game. Kante, on the other hand, I was surprised against Real Madrid suddenly popped out of nowhere. Who knows? Maybe this game too, but I don't think he's 100% reliable in that matter. Hopefully, the Toni Kroos and Modric will just run the show like they did versus Liverpool and another English Premier League team outside. Hopefully, and then final is like any other game, and that's a win for sure, no doubt. It's just depending on this one match.
Yeah, no words minced.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the counter. It's round one. Who wants to pick it up, Anahat or Aniket?
Yeah, I'm just gonna say that Sergio Ramos is not gonna get a chance to what he did to Mohamed Salah. He's not gonna get a chance to do it to any of the Chelsea players. Just putting it out
that's
there.
Aniket want to say something, add on something to this as a counter. Anahat's gone with a line.
I guess we made very much forward runs, and the Real Madrid was split in the first half. So there were chances that we may have scored two more goals. So it was definitely a good display, and I'm just hoping that we will show the same in this coming fixture. And also Kante alongside Kovacic is that midfield shield, and it's just
Unfortunately,
unbreakable.
Kovac is the won't be playing tomorrow.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
slightly unfortunate, unlucky, I would say. But again, Jorginho is again an excellent player, and his ball distribution is again a key. So we slightly have a better advantage because there is Marcelo who doesn't track back. So that side is way open, and players like Mount and Pulisic could just drop in and put a cross to Giroud or Werner, whoever starts.
He spoke about the fact, Ronan spoke about the fact that Chelsea don't really have much of an attacking prowess. So, what is your take on
They
that?
don't have a proper number 9. They don't
Yeah.
have a proper number 9. Just like Man City.
Yeah, so that's one problem. But I guess if there is a Giroud who is a proper, what do I say, pinpoint man. So if anyone crosses, so there might be one or two headers going in the net.
But he's saying one or two headers, already counting 2 goals against you, Ronan. So, any counter on that, and any counter on Anath for the fact that he's saying Ramos is old now?
We have got their ex-keeper in goal. Don't worry, he'll save it.
And we don't employ snakes. So
Kovacic. We won't exchange players.
I personally think that one of the instances where all the Real Madrid fans will shut up is when Reece James drops in a cross and Giroud scores a header.
Yeah,
That's when everything
will
goes
be a
silent.
moment. That will be a moment.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to rate this banter as 1-1. I wanted to actually give a very clear winner, but like the first leg, I think Real Madrid started like Chelsea here. They started very, very good on the offense. And then Chelsea kind of scored one. And then kind of both have put blows against each other, and it's 1-1. That's the final score. So, fantastic, great banter, guys. It was fun. Any passing remarks? Maybe just the final goal, last minute. Anyone wants to score any sort of point they want to make? Maybe 2-1 for Madrid or Chelsea. Anyone? Maybe a point of
Hazard.
history.
Hazard. That's
Hazard.
it. Hazard.
Hazard.
We are out of the Super League, right?
Yeah.
So, last nail in the coffin.
All right, cool. Fine. Thank you. That was banter. And now we move towards the key players for today's game that you reckon. So I want you all to come up with the key players for today's game. Starting off with Anahat, whom do you think will be the key player for today's game and
Thiago
why?
Silva. I think that Thiago Silva is going to be the most special player because he's an experienced man. He's an experienced defender, and he has seen it all. He was in the finals last year, so I personally feel that to get like to reach the finals and to defeat a team such as Real Madrid, I think he's going to be a key player in the defense because Real Madrid are going to come out they're just going to attack. We all know that, and we don't want to choke. So I think Silva is going to be a key player.
Silva for Anahat, and what about you, Aniket? Who's going to be the key player for Chelsea in today's game?
I guess it's going to be Christian Pulisic because he just exploited these open spaces against in the first leg. So the game is going to be open, and I guess he is going to get these lots of pockets of spaces in which he could just tear Madrid defense apart.
So the goal scorer from the first leg, the American superhero is what they call him, Christian Pulisic for Aniket, Thiago Silva for Anahat. Ron, who do you think would be the key player for Madrid?
It has to be out of the midfield. So I am going for Casemiro because he's the box-to-box midfielder. He defends, he attacks, he's there to support Benzema. And if he can keep Christian Pulisic away, then it's easy for Madrid.
Fantastic. So great. I think key players told by all of you, and I'm sure that Casemiro, Silva, and Pulisic, all of them will have a big role in the game later to be played tonight. Well, that was the end of the key player, and now we move on to predictions. Starting off firstly with Ronan, your prediction for today's game.
2-1 Madrid.
2-1 Madrid. Yeah, fantastic. All right, Anahat, prediction for today's game.
2-1 Chelsea. Pulisic and Timo Werner on the score sheet.
Pulisic and Werner. Who scores for Madrid?
I hope it's not Hazard.
Yeah, Benzema and Hazard.
Benzema and Hazard for Ronan. Hazard starts.
Yeah,
Hazard starts. Ronan. Hazard starts. All right. Aniket, what do you reckon would be the scoreline?
2-0 to Chelsea. Pulisic, and if Giroud starts, then Giroud.
All right. If Giroud doesn't, then who?
Then it might be Werner.
All right. Fantastic. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Beyond the Sidelines. And it was a great banter. Thank you, Anahat, Ronan, and Aniket. And we hope to see you for further shows too. Do share, subscribe, and like the video. Thank you and appreciate your time. Thanks, guys. That concludes another episode of Beyond the Sidelines. Do like, share, and subscribe our channel. Thank you and cheers.